How's everyone doing? Good, I hope. It's Arch 110. Today I'm reviewing Hummingbird by Zoologist Perfumes. Man, was I excited to try this. Seriously excited. Hummingbirds are my favourite animal. If you don't know, I thought I'd wear my special hummingbird pin that my best friend got me just to prove the fact. See? I love them. I think they're one of the most beautiful things that nature has given us. And yeah, this was the fragrance from this brand that literally piqued my interest in the entire first place. So I was really excited to try this, and I'm glad I've got to try it. So I have reviewed Panda already, I have reviewed Bat already, if you care to go and look at them. Really interesting brand, this brand. The perfumer behind this one is Shelley Waddington. She's the owner of On Voyage perfumes. I've tried a few of those as well. Really good fragrances, different, really creative as well. So that made me want to try it even more. So yeah, I really love hummingbirds, I really do. Look. Whee! Whee! See, I'm not lying. So yeah, again, great artwork on the front. I'll try and show you, but I'm quite far away from the camera. Ooh. Ooh. All of the animals that they've made are rather dashing, from the olden times, dressed in little suits and things. So anyway, this came out in 2015. It was in the kind of second lot of ones they released. There's only 5 of them, but this came out around the same time as Bat, I think, or in the same year as Bat, anyway. And I'll go through the notes with you. There are a lot. This has got a lot of notes in it. Not all of which are noticeable, but I'll go through it with you just so you can kind of get the idea of the work that's gone into this fragrance. So the top notes are apple, cherry, citrus, lilac, muguet, which is lily of the valley if you don't know, pear, plum, rose and violet leaf. Then the heart notes are honey, honeysuckle, lilac again, mimosa, peony, tulip and ylang ylang. Take a breath. And then the base notes are amber, cream, coumarin, moss, musk, sandalwood and white woods. So there's a whole lot of stuff going on in there. This is supposed to be a kind of fruity gourmand, I would say, but it never really is a gourmand to me. I'll say that right off of the bat. Ah, bat! Pun not intended, and really not even that funny. So I'll say what it says in the little description, because they're quite conceptual, these fragrances. They're really cool. It says, Hummingbird Eau de Parfum mingles light floral tones with delectable fruity nectars to create an harmonious balance. This diaphanous scent alights upon you in a pastel bouquet of honeysuckle, mimosa, lilac and peonies, with just the lightest dusting of natural sugars found in pear, cherry and honey. A finishing dollop of velvety whipped cream melds the tantalising notes, completing this irresistible and opulent perfume. So I really like the fact that this one's got the play on the whole hummingbirds loving nectar, so put things like honey in it, you know, it makes sense. Flowers, of course, and fruits. It's got a great... I'm so hot right now. Really bad. Look, it's like the flapping of a hummingbird's wing. Yeah, so I like what they're going for with that. It's really great. So anyway, what does it smell like? That's the reason why you're here. I've worn this a few times. My sample's nearly gone. And I have to say a quick thank you to Neil Atkinson, who sent me this. He sent me so many things. So yeah. Not what I expected at all, really. I'm not sure what I was expecting, but it's not what I was expecting at all. So when you first put it on, you get a lot of fruity things straight away. Mainly I can smell cherries and apples, and possibly a bit of pear as well. It smells a little bit juicy and watery smelling. There's like a freshness to it. So it feels like to me all of the fruits that are in here have been freshly picked straight away. So it's like you've picked them and then now you're smelling them. And I really like that. there's a very apparent naturalness to it, and it feels very spring-like. It's got a watery naturalness that feels to me like a tiny nod to Panda. It had a very kind of earthy green, not when I say earthy I don't mean mud, I mean of the earth kind of feeling to it, and that's very natural, and it almost sparkles a little bit. It's a little bit effervescent there as well. Really like it. There's flowers dancing around there as well, but they're not too overpowering. The flowers of choice in this, the ones that shine through, are the lighter, more delicate ones, I guess. Kind of the ones like lilac and honeysuckle and peony. That it's got that sort of tiny bit of sparkly floral going on as well. It's really pleasant. But there is something in there, again, there's always something with their fragrances that's very unusual to me, and it feels green. There's an unusual greenness going on. Maybe it's the violet leaf, I'm not sure, but yeah, it's really pleasant at first, almost like fizzy cherries and apples with some light flowers dancing around. So that's where it starts, really. And at this stage, I've always been waiting for the gourmand to come in, the honey, the cream, things like that. And I can say that on my skin, it never really goes there. It never really goes to any kind of edible or gourmand kind of feeling. It's quite a feminine thing, and it's very fresh. So if I had to liken it to a season, it would be spring. I don't know why, but I'm getting something that smells purple to me, almost like it's got grapes in it or something. You know, like the candy or the sweets you get that's grape flavoured. I get something like that from it as well. Maybe it's lilac, because lilac is kind of a purplish kind of thing. I don't know where I'm going with that, but it feels like a little bit grapey as well, so cherry apple grapey. But when it starts to dry, there's a semi-sweetness to it that starts to come through, and a little bit of smoothness. So it's never full-on sweet, toothache. It's a semi-sweet that's manageable, I would say. I get kind of leafy elements to it. That's what this greenery. Where is this greenery coming from? It must be violet leaf, but it just feels really natural again. It's really well done, this one. It's not what I expected at all. And when I first smelled it, I wasn't too sure. I wasn't too sure because there was that one thing that was off-putting me, but that's just me. This is the most popular one of all of their fragrances, along with Rhinoceros, I think. And I can see why. It's the most easy to like, and it's the most wearable of the ones that I've tried so far, by far. Panda and Bat were really quite daring. I've smelled Rhinoceros once, and that one I can tell is quite daring as well. And Beaver is just animal craziness, which I love, by the way. I think Beaver's my favourite so far. But yeah, so it's never overpowering. It stays light, but it's powerful. But the smell of it isn't cloying or overbearing or anything like that. It's very manageable and pleasant to wear. So I really like that element of it. In the same way that Bat did, I feel like this one takes you on a bit of a journey. The way that Bat was supposed to take you on a journey with a fruit bat diving into a cave after getting fruit from the forest or whatever, This one, I feel like, if this is what a hummingbird smells on its little daily flit around the flowers and the plants, then, oh my god, I want to be a hummingbird even more than I did before. I just want to hold one, like this. I just want to have one hover. I think it would be quite magical. I've only seen one once in my life, and it was in a zoo. Not quite the same. So it doesn't ever get any more complicated than that. Although you've got this huge plethora of notes, the main things that stick out, like I said before, are, you know, it's like a very natural, planty, light floral dance with some cherries and apples thrown in. So you'd have to smell it yourself to really see what it smells like. I've not smelled fragrance like this before, which is a big plus for me. I think it's really, really good. Smell something a bit unique like that. I wish that dog would stop barking, or I'm going to get my hummingbird pin on his ass. It's definitely got some throw, really lasts a long time, and unfortunately for me, I never really get to the kind of creamy side of it, or the dry down doesn't ever go in that direction. It stays kind of like this quite a lot. It doesn't really develop way too much, which is not a bad thing at all, by the way. The core of it is the thing that's throwing me off, and it's the same with Panda. There's something, it feels like I've rolled real petals in my fingers like that, and I'm smelling them fresh off of my fingers. That's what I get from it, and that's really kind of cool actually. This one gently wafts off of your skin for a really long time. I'm talking 7 hours plus for me. I've been wearing it in the heat, and I wore it actually before it got too hot in London, and it worked a little bit better in cold weather, I'm going to say. But yeah, you can see it kind of stays like oil on your hand. It's a very good quality fragrance, and you're going to get little wafts of stuff all the time. I mean, it might work differently on different people's skin, because there's so much in there, it depends what your skin's going to throw out, I guess, so very interesting. Anyway, that's my review of Hummingbird by Zoologist Fragrances. I'm Matt Romano, click my logo to subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon for another review. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Dance around me, bird, dance around me.